Tyron is here, and you know what? I didn't want to do you guys with the Skype. I'm driving currently, and I don't
No.
want us to bleep in and out because we got some real fish to fry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I don't want you to look at I'm very against driving and FaceTiming or Skyping. So I appreciate you doing this. Thank you. So the last 7 days or so for you, Tyron. I mean, we saw you on the post fight, pre fight stuff on Saturday. So it seems like but like you're openly like feuding with your boss. What has it been like for you? What this past week? Has it been different than the last 5 or 6 times where this has happened? Has anything changed?
For the fans that did know exactly what happened, because we were assuming that they all did.
Okay.
I made a statement, pretty bold statement, which I still stand by. Someone was asking me, what's going on with me. Obviously supposed to be rehab, and not a ton of training and stuff because I'm not prepared to fight yet because of injury. So they asked me, who do I think I'm going to fight yet? I said, shoot, if I had to bet the house, I think I'm going to fight Nate Diaz first. I think that's going to be my next fight. Which, me as a fighter, me as a person, I'm deemed, and I'm due my own opinion. I can say what I never said I had a bout agreement. I never said, okay, we're negotiating right now. I never said any of those things. So that thing was taken and spiraled out of control. The good thing that happened about it is Nate Diaz said, you know what, I think Tyron is the next fight for me. So I'm like, all right, I'm with it. Let's do it. The thing that I don't like about it is the fact that the fans and the media start to get behind the idea of me and Nate fighting. And, it would have been a fight that I think would have got a lot of attention. It would have been a huge fight for myself and my career. I'm just trying to knock off, someone that has the status of Nate. And Nate got the status by fighting Conor. George got the status by beating Matt Hughes. And we all know how Conor got it by taking out Jose Aldo. You always need that equal, that person that is a few ticks above you that you're trying to, hunt down so you can get yourself as a household name. So that was my whole purpose. Never decline the fight. Never declined to fight Wonderboy. Never declined to fight Damian Maia. And the funny thing is, I'm the only King champion out here fighting the actual number one contenders. So that just puzzles me when you look at all the musical chairs taking place in mixed martial arts. You see DC going up to heavyweight. You see Conor doing whatever the hell he wants to. You see Dillashaw wants to go down. Amanda Nunes and Cyborg has been talking about fights. But please, let Tyron Woodley mention something. Instantly, he's complaining. He doesn't want to fight this guy. He's running from this guy. He's playing the race card. I mean, the fans, you guys should be tired of this now. Like, I'm probably one of the most marketable, one of the most professional, hardest working damn fighters on the roster that's doing it all himself, marketing himself, pushing himself. And I'm out here killing birds and eating at the table by myself. So I just took a huge offense to it. When you make a statement that somebody's full of shit, you know what I mean? I just can't get with it. That warranted a phone call instantly.
Oh, from who?
A phone call from me to Dana.
Oh, on Wednesday night after he said this?
Actually, I saw it Wednesday night. I was really pissed off because, I can see if it was a situation that I literally just made up, then maybe I can see what's it. You could have even said it differently. You could have even said, you know what, the fight with Nate, Tyron's wishful thinking. You know what, the next fight for him is RDA. Nate is not going to fight him. He hasn't fought in a while. He's lost his last fight. Whatever rationale. But when you say, oh, Tyron's so foolish, you know what I mean? Come on now. That's a little bit harsh, a little bit hardcore for somebody who's wearing the belt of your organization, that people and young fighters aspire to enter into the UFC, and they aspire to be a UFC champion. I don't think many people are going to aspire to be a champion when they see the way that the champions are treated, and they see that the non-champions and the people that are unprofessional, middle finger flicking, shit talking, they're actually making the money. So what kind of picture are we trying to play? I thought we was going in a direction to be parallel with the NFL, NHL, MLB, and the other professional sports. It's a circus until it comes to Tyron. And now we want to go back to the old school rubric. And I got issues with that.
So you called him up. You spoke.
Hell yeah, I did.
And how'd it go?
Obviously Dana's a very strong-willed person, and I think that's why you see me and Dana go back and forth. It's not that I'm going back and forth with Dana as a boss. It's as a man and as a human being. Like, you treat humans a certain way. If it's good, I'll call Dana about some, man, congratulations on getting the Conor Floyd Mayweather fight. It's crazy. And he's called me on some, oh, I heard you bought your mama house. Awesome, da, da, da. So it's not always a negative conversation, but those conversations that are a little bit more hostile is the one that people want to hear about. So it was just that, I just didn't think that was right. I didn't think it was. I think even if he thought that way, it could have been said a different way. I think a lot of people spun what I was saying. Never said this fight was in negotiation. Never said any of those things. And when Nate came out, I never heard anybody say how full of shit Nate was. I never heard anybody. You know what I mean? It's so funny that it was a one-sided bashing. So, I just wasn't with it, man, all the way around. So, we'll have a sit down and meeting in the next few days in Vegas and try to see how we can do this in a different way, because I've had this conversation before, and I've even spoke to you in your show about how the UFC is making an attempt to do things differently by me and market me in a different way, and they've made a commitment and they've tried to reach out, and that was true at that current time. And now I think it's time to take a pause, deep breath, snapshot, because the shit ain't working. It can't go down like that. It's very damaging for me, for a fighter that's trying to, generate his brand and his name.
So he was he kind of open to, like, okay, maybe I'm in the wrong here. I shouldn't have said it that way. Was he open to what you were saying or how you were feeling? Is that why you're meeting, or was he not?
He wasn't really open to it, because in his mind he wanted to make a fight with RDA happen, which, by the way, I never was offered. Still haven't been formally offered. Never declined that fight. So okay. It's just funny that his whole mindset was basically me saying that I wanted to fight Nick was almost taking attention off a potential, by the way, not offered fight against RDA. Yeah. Never declined fight against RDA. So I think he wanted to focus more so on me speaking about fighting him versus fighting Nate, sorry. But I think a grown man can say whatever the hell he want to say. Yeah. I can say I want to fight Georges St. Pierre. Bisping fought him, and he didn't even fight one fight before he came back. He came straight back after 4 years, straight to a different weight class and title shot. I said, I just started playing out the thing is that you look at all the fighters that have done it. Nick Diaz fought Georges St. Pierre off of a loss, hadn't won in 5 years, came back off of suspension and fought Anderson Silva. And I guarantee if he comes back and want to fight, he's going to fight whoever the hell he wants. Mm-hmm. And it was contenders at the time. I remember being at that fight card. Johnny Hendricks fought Carlos Condit. Johnny Hendricks had steamrolled everybody. John Finch, Campman, obviously he beat Carlos Condit in that fight. And Condit had a victory over Diaz. So we've seen this happen. I don't have to play the picture to you. Holly Holmes fought for back-to-back titles off losses. So it's just kind of like there's no sport anymore. So quit playing with me when you guys want to act like this is a sport. And people want, oh, Tyron's such a complainer, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's so much negativity. Use that energy to talk about something positive. Switch the stats up. Don't talk about how Tyron Woodley fought Damian Maia and there was so few strikes thrown. Well, if you tore your fucking labrum, I think you might not be swinging a hammer that many times yourself. Nobody came back and regurgitated that statement and said, hey, Tyron Woodley, man, he's such a beast. He freaking beat this dude with one arm, tore that baby in the first round, still won a 5-round fight. Did not get taken out one time by a guy that was on a 7-fight win streak that took down his last 12 opponents. How many times have you heard that stat? For Stephen Thompson, who had won 7 in a row, knocking everybody the hell out. Never heard that. Let Paige Van Zandt break her arm. Before the x-ray even pop up. Oh, my God, Paige Van Zandt is such a freaking stud. Oh, my God, she fought with a broken arm and lost. She's so awesome. Now, she was a stud. She was awesome. But there's other warriors out here that are dealing with adversity, dealing with injury. Did the same thing with Kevin Gastelum. Broke my damn foot in the first kick, the first thing thrown in the whole fight. And I still beat the person that was supposed to beat me, go on to fight for the title. And what happened to him after that? He got a fucking job as an Ultimate Fighter coach. So it tells me, Tyron, you look too professional. Start cutting up a little bit. Start freaking being unprofessional. Start coming late to press conferences. Start being very difficult in negotiation. Start saying no. And then that's how you get paid.
Have you addressed yet this idea that you were never offered the Nate Diaz fight, that a quote-unquote lawyer...
That's a lie. That's a lie. Please, somebody call Nate Diaz. He was offered 6 guys, right? Now, what was not said? Then it said he was offered 6 fights, right? That he declined them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody, let's get a lie detector out and let's ask him if one of those fights was Tyron Woodley. Okay, and that's now. And if you want to do whatever, that's fine. But when you say that I'm full of shit and this guy was offered me, I was about to get surgery, Ariel. You think I'm going to just run out of all the fighters I can think of fighting? We all know I'm going to say George St. Pierre because he's the greatest welterweight of all time. I'm going to say him number one because of who he is and what he's done. Why would I, on a borderline on whether I get surgery or not, how would I just think that Nate Diaz would even be an option? That would have had to have been brought to me. How would Nate Diaz or his boxing coach or whoever put out the $15 million amount? What would those prices come up for if nobody ever offered him the fight? Why would he just randomly say, no, I need $15 million? He just said that to himself? Like, yeah. I mean,
I know he was.
I ain't trying to call nobody out, but I think I got a pretty good reputation of being 100%, and some people don't.
Why do you think he's trying to say that this never happened, this offer never happened, that it's fictitious?
Because if people get behind it, then you're in the business of making fights that people want to see. You got to make the fight. After Nate said it, the next day, I thought the fight was on.
Uh-huh.
I was calling my coaches. I was like, this going down.
Uh-huh.
When they go in there and say, hey, I think the most logical fight is Tyron Woodley, you know what? I agree with you. That is the most logical fight. Now, you might get your ass whipped a little bit, but, hey, I'm with it. Let's do it. So I was thinking that was going to happen. But it threw me for a loop when the complete opposite happened, a complete one-sided, slaying purposely. I mean, Fox is not, that show is not live. So when you do that stuff, it's premeditated. You know it. You can cut it. You can clip it. They have to go back and bleep the explicit words.
Mm-hmm.
So that just kind of frustrated me. But, as a professional I am, I didn't go back out. I didn't backlash. I didn't slay people. I'm just going to do what I do, man. I'm just going to consistently go out there, put them in front of me. You're going to get somebody hurt again, just like everybody thought Robbie was going to beat me because I was off 18 months and he was so destructive. He was fighter of the year back-to-back. Nobody talks about me having the fastest finish in welterweight championship history, how I completely knocked him the fuck out and did not even get touched one time. Not one person mentions that anymore. You know what I mean? Or how Wonderboy Fight 1 was fight of the night of the biggest and the best fight card that UFC has ever put on, UFC 205. The virtual mirror image of the same damn fight. You know what I mean? Pretty much. Now it's a boring fight. It was the same fucking fight both times.
Yeah.
So I'm just tired of being apologetic. I'm tired of defending my, what I've done in the sport. I haven't had an easy fight since Strikeforce. I've been fighting G's since Paul Daly. That's in 2010. Jordan Meehan, Tarek Safin, Paul Daly, Nathan Marquardt. I've been fighting former champions and contenders since the beginning. I've asked for the toughest fight. Johnny didn't ask for me. I had the hassle for that fight. I had the hassle for the Carlos Condit fight and for the Robbie fight. Those are the guys that most people don't want to fight. Nobody was signing up to fight Carlos at that time. You know what I mean? Or Johnny or Robbie. But people got a selective memory when they've watched the way that I got to the belt. I didn't get to the belt because I had on the pimped out custom suit and I was talking shit. I got there because I was beating people that were the best of the game. And they didn't look good against me, and they looked good against everybody else. You know what I mean? So,
are you tired of this, Tyron? Like, is it getting tiresome?
I am tired of it, but I know me. Even me right now, I'm almost like borderline just venting a little bit. But
okay. That's cool.
I'm already moved past it just because I know this is not the way that's going to solve the problem. Dan Lambert told me this a long time. Winning solves everything. Once you just keep beating people, they can say whatever they want. Remember that time that the Anderson Silva was going through some scrutiny, but they couldn't find nobody to beat him. Tried, never found anybody to beat him. Until later in his career. Think about George St. Pierre. We remember George St. Pierre now. He came back and stopped Michael Bisping, but think about how he was on his way out. People was trashing him. He had so many decisions and he took people down later on. So many fans, we have short-term memory. So I'll just remind you guys of, me being one of the hardest, definitely in the top 3 of the hardest punching fighters in the entire UFC roster pound for pound. The only person I can think off the top of the head that punched harder than me is Ngannou, and that stuff is just scary. Actually, you know what? Me and Yoel might be close after last
That's
weekend.
right.
Because
That's
Yoel,
right.
he scared the hell out of me with that punch.
Do you
But yeah,
foresee this ending though,
I just
Tyron?
gotta
Like,
keep
or
reminding people.
do you think that this will be the case for your title? Like, is this just the way? Like, are you and Dana just oil and water?
Who's gonna beat me?
Yeah.
Who they gonna get to beat me? Tell me the person. Because last time I checked, all my toughest matches are behind me. Last time I checked, the Robbie Lawlers is behind me. The Carlos Collins is behind me. Even the fights I lost, the Roy McDonald's, who's a nightmare matchup for me. Those fights are behind me. So who they gonna get to beat me? RDA?
It sounds like that's
No.
what he wants. What happens if they offer you
No,
RDA?
RDA is gonna get hurt.
Will you accept it if they offer you RDA?
Yeah, but now that they disrespected me in such a way, I feel like the price tag might be a little bit higher. But yes, I will accept it.
How is the shoulder rehab going, and when in a perfect world, if it was up to you, would you like to fight again?
My shoulder rehab's going amazing, to be honest. I'm actually today I was cleared to start punching, so I'm excited about that. My strength is way beyond where I should be at week 8. Feeling good. I've already kind of been, moving a little bit progressively, just shadow boxing and moving around. So I can start running this week. I can start shadow boxing this week. So I'll be fine. In 1 month is a point when the doctor wants me training. He's going to be at month 3, the 12-week mark. He wants me actually training. So okay. I'm right in cahoots with that. So I got one series of stem cell coming up in the next week or so. Then I got another one 6 weeks after that, stem cell and PRP, along with just, doing 2 days of rehab, water therapy, ARP therapy, chiropractic, massage, Miyagi-san, anything you can think of, I'm hitting the show up with. So I'll be ready to roll. Somebody getting hurt. I'm tired of everybody getting on my nerves. Whoever I fight next, you can blame Dana, you can blame the fans, you can blame the UFC. Sorry I had to do you like that. It's not your fault, and I hope your family can recognize you afterwards.
How do you feel about all these tweets and Photoshops, Justin Bieber stuff coming from RDA?
RDA is not good at it, bro. Chill out. I try to warn you. I would torture you, and I used to do this for a hobby as a kid. He's just not good at it. I mean, it's great that he's one of the Brazilian fighters that first language is Portuguese, and he's really coming along in his English, but not to the point where he needs to be trying to talk shit. Maybe Thiago Alves, because or the Sunstyle, some one of those guys, but it's just a little bit off. It don't make sense. It's kind of corny. It's a lot of corny shit talking in the welterweight division now. So it's kind of like, man, can't y'all just fight and win? Like, when did that stop being the recipe? Do you ever remember Carlos doing that, or Matt Brown, or Robbie Lawler, or Campman, or John Fitch, or George St. Pierre? Like, just think about what our sport has become. Like, and then these guys haven't even done nothing. Like, really? You beat Tarek Saffiedine, who I beat in 2009, and you beat Robbie, who basically is a fighter that's, his best years are behind him. Like, now you so deserving. Don't nobody deserve a title shot in any division. There's no rubric on who deserves anything. Nobody deserves a title shot. You know what I mean? You just get it because they give it to you.
Don't forget about Neil Magny. Beat Neil Magny too.
Yeah, Neil Magny. I forgot about. Sorry, Neil. Neil Magny, who's a decent fighter, but he didn't go through the gauntlet. He didn't go through, the fighters in the welterweight division that I feel like I went through. He literally had, 3 decent victories against decent guys, and maybe looking at the landscape of everybody else, you might be right. He might be the most deserving out of the guys that are there. You know what I mean? But that's not really saying much. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise for me being, undergoing the surgery and having some time, because our division, it ain't nobody just poking out like, okay, you know what? It's a no-brainer. This dude right here he is the one. So, we'll see. I've never declined to fight against RDA. That's so hilarious to me. Like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, as you sitting here, like, okay, thank you, Dana, for believing in me. I'm thinking, like, only if you knew your ass was not even the first choice of me fighting somebody. 2 people got offered to fight against me before RDA. Why he thinks somebody's so on his side? That's hilarious for me.
Who's the other one?
I can't tell. Like, no, I ain't gonna be that. I ain't gonna be that
Why?
and go out like a box like that. Because
you've said everything
it was
else.
just, I mean, people. It wasn't him.
What
It
happened?
wasn't him. And guess what? I still haven't been offered RDA.
Wow.
Still have not been offered him. Nobody has sent me about him. Nobody has called me or my manager and formally offered me RDA.
Was that for 219? The other one?
That was for so I got offered a fight. I got offered Robbie.
Yeah.
Right after I tore my shoulder. Like immediately after I tore my shoulder, I got offered Robbie.
Okay.
I'm like, didn't I just hear that I tore my damn labrum? Like, you think I'm supposed to just bounce back and fight him in 3 weeks? I got offered to fight him whenever the October or whatever card was.
Okay.
I would have had 6 weeks, whatever that card was.
Yep.
And I'm like, who did he beat again? At that point, I don't think he even had fought. He might not even have fought Cowboy yet, or maybe he did. I don't know. But I got offered him then. Obviously, I couldn't take that fight. And then got offered an assaulting offer for someone April 7th, which I said, who? Who you want me to fight? I don't even know that person's name. Call me back when you got somebody for real. So.
Okay. So those are the two. Well, really 3.
Yeah, I guess 3. Yeah.
When's the meeting? When's the meeting with Dana?
I don't know yet. It's supposed to be next couple of days.
Okay. Wow.
I think a week from today.
Can you stream that for us? Can you live stream that or something? Maybe get DJ involved, Twitch that thing?
You know what? I don't think it's going to be that bad of a meeting because nobody really has any legs to stand on. Like, I've been talked about poorly in the media, and you got to stop. So it's not. I don't think it's a back and forth argument. It's blatant facts. You know, it needs to stop. It's unwarranted and it's unnecessary.
The amazing thing is you're Teflon because like he'll go on your show. That's the thing, and maybe this is a little personal because I worked there and I felt like they never had my back. But he goes on a show that you are like at this point you're more of a co-host on UFC Tonight than DC is because DC's been very busy the last few months, right? He's been fighting. He's doing Ultimate Fighter. Your show, taped interview, as you said, and talking that kind of smack about you, and then there you are on Saturday. There you are on Saturday, pre-fight, post-fight.
Dana is Dana, though. Like, this is the thing. The reason why I can go back and forth with Dana is because I'm not a very emotional person. That's great for business because I can actually deal in business and not take things personal. And this ain't the first time. This may be the 5th, 6th, 7th time.
Right.
At one point I choked in big fights. Another time I was terrified to fight Hector Lombard. Another time I was a drama queen. Another time, I had some boring fights. Another time, I'm looking for super fights. I just need to fight the number 1 contender. This time I was a piece freaking full of shit. What other champion you hear that kind of lingo going around about?
Yeah.
Like, I don't hear anybody else going to talk to about like that. And it's like people doing a lot worse shit, failing drug tests, getting in trouble, ruining cars, not showing up. Like, what have I done? Like,
it's crazy. It really is crazy.
Besides
when you
being
laid
on last minute notice.
Yeah.
Besides being her last minute notice, stepping up clutch, beating the top guys. How many guys were able to solve the puzzle of, Wonderboy? I said this the other day. I don't see anybody beating Wonderboy beyond me. I just don't see the proper recipe. Guys don't take the sport serious enough to do the research and bring in the right people. Who's going to beat him? Darren Till ain't going to beat him. You know what I mean? I thought Masvidal might have had a decent chance to compete against him. That didn't happen. We know Queefing him, and there's no way on earth he going to beat him. So think about the person that I fought 2 times. It's hard enough to try to beat him once. You got to fight him twice. You know what I mean? So I'm just do what I do, man. Keep running through this division. You know what I mean? Probably won't fight George, but at the end of the day, I'll still be the greatest welterweight of all time because, I'll take everybody out. And even if I don't ever get a big fight, it's not even about a money fight for me. It's about getting the attention. How does non-champions get pushed more than a champion? How does non-champions have a stronger social following via the UFC or whoever is helping, and catapulting? They're exponentially growing socially, which makes them a stronger sell. How does your champion not get that? doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure people are going to listen to this, and I'm going to get 50% of people like, damn, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? I never knew that happened like that. And you're going to get the other half like, oh, here you go again. He complained. He whatever. But it's all facts, though. Tell me one thing I'm right about. Tell me one thing I can back up.
Keep doing your thing, Tyron. We got your back over here.
Hey, we out here.
Hey, they may not have your back at Fox, but they got your back right here on the MMA Hour, all right?
I'm not going to say that. I believe they do have my back at Fox. You know?
All right.
Dana's Dana. You can't control Dana.
Okay.
Fox's family, they have my back, but Dana's going to be himself, and he's always been that way. So, you know, we'll talk. I mean, we already had a talk. Towards the end of the conversation, it seemed like we was good. But I just want to make sure, because we've been good a couple other times, and then some type of way these things keep popping back up. So I just want it done for good and for all. And if I blow a fight and I stink it up and it's horrible, I mean, it's okay to go ahead and say that. I'm okay with that. I've told you that. If I get knocked out, I got knocked out. What am I going to do? Get mad at you because you said I got knocked out?
All right. Well, keep doing your thing. Good luck with the meeting, and thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
All right, no worries.
All right. There he is, Tyron Woodley, welterweight champion of the UFC. Never a dull moment. I appreciate him stopping by.